All right. So, just to recap again on your assignment. Okay, your assignment is due end of next week, Sunday, midnight. Assignment one. Okay. So, what is required in your assignment one is these five component. Okay. Um, it is presented or prepared in a presentation slide. Okay, you can use whatever software you like for the presentation slide. Okay, you can use Canva, Google Slide, PowerPoint. Okay, if you know how to use Figma, also can. Okay, if you use Canva, try not to use a template. Template means to say it's already pre-designed for you. Okay, because it will happen where a lot of you will use the same template, which shouldn't be the case because you guys are doing branding. So you guys should use your own color scheme, your own fonts, your own images and style. Okay, so please refrain from using your own template. Okay, because marks is also given for how you prepare your proposal. All right, and I have prepared this graphic for you to clarify what is it that you need to prepare for the both assignment. Okay, because I'm not sure if it's very confusing for you all between the graphic design one and multimedia design one. Okay, so graphic design one is the branding subject which we are having now. Okay, multimedia design one is the website design subject. Okay, so you will be using the same brand for both assignment. Okay, but for different proposal presentation, you have different requirement. Some of it is the same, some of it is different. Okay, so what is the same is that for both proposal presentation, we need your brand name and your product and service. Okay, what is your brand purpose, vision, and mission? Who is your target audience and persona? And the research on competitor. Okay, so similar brands that you are competing against. Okay, so this is shared for both assignment that you submit. Okay, in the presentation slide, this information is the same. Okay, however, for web design, okay, what you need to prepare specifically for web is the purpose of website. Okay, what is the purpose of the website you're designing for? I keep saying, is it to download something? Is it to search up information? Is it to make online booking, etc.? And the sitemap, okay, which we have done last week. Okay, specific for the branding subject, these are the extra thing that you need to have in your slide. Okay, your brand value, right? I keep asking you, what is your brand value? Are you friendly? Are you professional? Are you serious? Are you luxury? Right? Are you casual? Right? What is the brand position? Brand position is the cross segment. You know, like we arrange the brand of the clothing one. Okay, and then the brand archetype, tone of voice, which I will cover today. Okay, I will cover today these two. So by today class, you should have all the information you need to finish the assignment one for both subjects. Okay, you will prepare two separate presentation slide, but both will share some information and some have different. Any question on this? Okay, so for MD1, for web design, okay, your submission is the proposal slides and a video presentation. Okay, but for graphic design one, okay, next week is week 5, we will have a presentation in class physical. Okay, so all of you will present for maybe 5 to 8 minutes your slides for branding this part. Okay, so all of you will come up, introduce your friends, what is your brand, blah 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 blah, everything. 5 minutes. So by next week for your class Tuesday afternoon, okay, you guys need to at least complete the slides already for branding. Okay, for your group will be Wednesday morning lah, right? Your branding class is Wednesday morning ma, right? But for this group, you usually will be on Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so I will be marking on the spot. Okay, the presentation part, I'll be marking on the spot. So it's not something that is like casual sharing. Okay, it is something that I mark on the spot, and your friends will also be listening to your presentation. Okay, and I mark on the spot. It's what we call an interim mark, means to say at the moment mark lah. Okay, interim means at the moment. Okay, but because your submission is on Sunday, right, I will review again. Anything you improve based on the feedback from the presentation from myself or from my friends, you can improve and you submit on Sunday. And I will go through again. Any improvement, I can increase the marks. Okay, but if you just submit whatever you present on Tuesday or Wednesday, you just submit like that, then that is your marks lah. Understand? Okay, so you have a chance to improve if you want to based on the feedback from your presentation. Okay, if you don't have time or you want to prioritize other subject, it's fine. You just submit what you have, then that is the marks that you will receive. Okay, all right, any questions on submission for this? I hope I'm clear. Huh? Okay, so if no question, bear in mind, because I am recording this lecture as well. For tomorrow, you guys are going on field trip, right? So tomorrow I have another group class, so I'm recording. So bear with me for this thing. Okay, I'm not listening to music. You might not know. Okay, so I will start with the session for today. And as I mentioned as well, after the lecture, I expect to see your content for assignment 1, this one. Okay, assignment 1, these things lah. Okay, after our lecture today. So you can come to meet me one by one for a consultation session to finalize on this, and then you can prepare for your presentation next week. Okay. Okay, so today I'm covering on brand archetype and tone of voice. Okay, a brand archetype is a very big word. Okay, but essentially, is by this psychologist. Okay, his name is Carl Jung. Okay, basically he believed that, you know, this story about dragon like in the sky, dragon. Okay, so he's saying that, not him lah, but basically there's a scientific sort of theory that regardless of whatever culture, people will imagine out dragon, right? Even if you don't mix them together. Like in Chinese culture, they have dragon. In Western culture, they have their dragon, right? It's some form of monster in the sky for some reason. Okay, if you put all babies, right, and then you don't teach them anything, they will somehow come out with a concept of dragon regardless. Okay, so that is something to do with psychology lah. We don't know. Okay, so this guy, what he says that in human, okay, I'm not gonna read all this very complicated. In human imagination, okay, we all have characters in our brain. Okay, we all have already preset character that or personality that we know. Okay, so for example, okay, this is the character. Okay, so we have, for example, a hero. We always know what is a hero, right? That's why we have all the superhero movie, right? We also have the ruler. Ruler is like the evil person who likes to control things, right? So if I ask you guys to write a story right now, right, you will always think of, okay, who's my main character? Who's the hero, right? So for sure you have a hero. Then you'll imagine, okay, who's the bad guy, right? That will be the ruler, the control person, right? Then you also have like the caregiver. Like if you play games, right? There's always the guy who heals people, right? The caregiver. Okay. There is the magician, people like Gandalf, people like Albus Dumbledore, right? People who are very powerful at magic, right? People who are sage, people who explore, right? People who are innocent, babies, right? Innocent, right? Creator, someone who is every man, means like common people, like all one of us. Okay, you have jester, which is like a joker, and you have lover, like romantic stories, right? So regardless of your culture lah, whether you're Chinese, Indian, Western, or whatever, from whatever culture you are, you will probably have stories that have this kind of character. Okay, it's what we call archetype. Archetype means like already preset, program in us. Okay, so we all understand these characters, and we all in our culture, regardless, you have these characters in your stories. Okay, so case an example. Okay, this one. You guys know this one? You know who is this? Don't know. This one will be very even before my time lah. Okay, this is the first ever Star Wars, 1980s. Okay, Star Wars, right? And this Joseph Campbell, he talked about this hero is always follow a storyline one. Okay, first is that he is unknown. He is here. He don't know. He is just a very unpopular guy, right? First, he's unpopular one. Then suddenly, he will come to have a mentor. Suddenly, one mentor will come and say, "Actually, you are special. I will come and teach you how to be your superpower," right? So he will face challenge and he will then with the helper, right? Then he will transform, become the superhero, and then he become known, right? So this is from Star Wars, right? So for example, you know this guy, Yoda, this is the mentor, lah. This is the hero, right? Now, does this story sound familiar to your generation? Can you guys think of any other character that has the same storyline? Someone who don't know anything, very sad one. Then suddenly, boom, someone come in and say, "Wow, you are special." Yes, right? Harry Potter. So same. He is a hero. First, he don't know anything, not famous. Then suddenly, boom, Hagrid come and say, "You are a wizard, Harry. You are special." Then teach him the magic, everything. Then he got one Master Sifu, Dumbledore, right? Same with Yoda, Master Sifu, right? So again, this storyline is always in our brain, okay? And against the hero is the ruler, the villain, right? So with Harry Potter, you have the Voldemort, who is to rule the dark magic world, right? For Star Wars, you have the Darth Vader, who also rule the dark side, right? So these stories are consistent. Have you guys seen Inception? Have you guys seen the film Inception? Don't know. Okay lah. Okay, now mine. In Harry Potter also, you have a helper in the characters of Hermione and Ron, right? So whenever he got trouble, the smart character will help him. Helper, right? For the film Inception, if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Anyone really haven't seen it? Everyone haven't seen it. You have seen it. It's one of the best films ever. Like seriously, okay? Like super famous. Okay. I don't think I can explain it now since you can haven't watched it. But go and watch Inception. Okay. But basically, this is the main character, and then he needs a helper to help him to do the things. Okay. So I'm gonna skip this because you guys haven't watched the thing yet. Okay. So again, in the stories of our world, on our culture, we have all these characters in our brain. Okay. So now I'll talk to you, right? We are all familiar with these stories: hero lah, villain lah, or ruler lah. Okay, the romantic partner lah. Okay, the lover lah. We are all familiar. So how does or what do brands relate with these characters? Okay, so how do brands relate with these characters?
Behind everything we do is a why. You can do it to raise your game or to raise the whole game. You can do it for your goal. Yeah, that goal. Or you can do it for the common goal. Hey, sometimes you just gotta prove you can do it. Again, and again. Do it to set the bar.
Yeah.
Set a record. Do it to set an example. Do it to break a sweat. Break a perception. Or do it to break free.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Do it to continue a legacy. Or do it to begin one. When you do it for your why, you can't be stopped.
Okay, so if I were to ask you based on this video, what archetype you would associate Nike with, what would be your guess? Hero. Any other guesses? You have lover, magician, outlaw is people who don't follow the rules, right? Sage is people who are very knowledgeable. Explorer is people who, for example, like Jeep, right? You go camping, right? You explore the wilderness or using your 4-wheel drive like Jeep, right? You have people who rule, you have people who create. Caregiver, any other guesses other than hero? No. Huh? Creator? Okay. Why? Because you? Why do you say creator? Sorry? Because you create something. Okay. Adrian, why did you say hero? Uplifting. Okay. So if I were to share this with you, right? The hero, okay? When there's a will, there's a way. Right? This is the archetype of hero. The motto of the hero is when there's a will, there's a way. All right. So you see, you can take the superhero out of the costume, but you can never take away your superpower. Because Nike allows you to break your own ability, right? To break your own records, right? So your goal is to prove your own worth, to win medals, to win challenges, right? The goal is to be expert in a mastery, right? Master your skill, master your sport, right? So be as strong. So when you are looking at sports brand, right, they're usually celebrating the athlete, right? The person to be successful, right? It's always about them being successful. Okay, so if I were to share with you another video, okay, this is from Apple.
There's a certain kind of person who doesn't take no for an answer. They don't walk in quietly. They parade in, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, status quo breaking. Grazing greatness, braving hatred, and taking up space. Never got a seat at the table, so they can't sit and behave. They'd rather defy the rules and amaze. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't wait for greatness. They make it.
Okay, so this campaign is called Behind the Mac, right? What it means is when you're sitting behind the Mac, right, you're doing something, right? So again, if I were to show you this, okay, I can see a few here, but anyone who can think of the archetype that Apple associate with? Creator, right? Because they are always making things behind the Mac. That is one of their selling point, right? You use a Mac to create graphics, to make music, right? To do design, right? To improve or fight, right? Okay, what else can you see from the campaign just now? Knowledge, okay? Because they use the Mac to improve knowledge, to gain knowledge, right? What else? What about these images here? Not this one. What about these images here? People like this, right? So they are fighting for something. They are being outlaws. Outlaws as in not following the rules, not following the status quo, right? Not following the system, right? So things like outlaws here, liberation, right? Fighting for freedom, fighting for freedom of expression, fighting for women's rights, men's rights. Okay, so that is how Apple play their brand, right? They are not selling you the computer. They are selling you the ability to be a creator, ability to liberate people, ability to gain knowledge, to explore, to improve our knowledge, right? Okay, so primarily you can see Apple. Have you seen these kind of advertisings on billboards before? When you drive on the highway, you see a photo taken on iPhone by something, Kevin C. I don't know if you guys seen it, right? It was a couple years ago, right? So shot on iPhone 11 by someone, right? So it's celebrating your ability to take a photo, your artistry, your creativity to take a photo using the iPhone, right? you have this behind the Mac where they feature all the famous people using the Mac to create their own things, right? So if you can imagine it, it can be done, right? To create things of enduring value, right? Uh, to develop artistic control, right? So this is about being a creator, and Mac's branding is always about innovation, about creation. Okay, you don't use the phone for your computer to just use it. You are using to make great things, take good photos, and create good work, right? This one.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Okay, so this is a bit of a weird one, right? It's about what? Milking a giraffe and rainbows come out. Rainbow eating skittle, rainbow producing giraffe. Okay, so what can you see here that is related to Skittles archetype? Sorry, pleasure or jester. Jester means joking, right? Means a playful character. Okay, anyone? Anything else? Huh? Sorry, freedom. Okay, because very imaginative. Okay, not limited by imagination. You can be free, right? Anyone else? Anything else? It's also quite magician, right? Quite about imagination and magic, because it's not trying to sell you the candy. It's trying to sell you happiness. It's trying to sell you joy, right? So for Skittles, the primary one is jester. Jester means the make fun one, the clown. Okay, so it's always about you only live once lah, full of enjoyment lah, have a great time and lighten up the world lah. Okay, so you are opposite of boring when you're a jester, when you are a joker. Okay, so that's why if you see their graphics, right, it's always very colorful, very out of this world, very not make sense one. Okay, there is many more. Okay, that you can research. Okay, so different archetypes. So with different brands, with different archetypes of personality, they have different tone of voice. Okay, tone of voice here is not just your verbal, like how I talk to you now is my tone of voice. If I were to raise up my voice, then it's another tone of voice, right? If I were to speak softly, then it's another tone of voice. So depending on your personality or your archetype, you have to reflect it using your tone of voice. Okay, so it appears not just in your verbal, but in your how you write your caption. So, for example, things like this, right? The official sponsor of awesomeness, right? What was such a thing, one, right? So it's being playful. The color is one, the copywriting is one, the text they put, the images they use, like this old auntie is one. Okay, it's their tone of voice. If you look at Nike, right, classy, calm, in control, because of the black and white images, the font, the one line text, right? You compare with Skittles, it's different tone of voice. Okay, so example, this one, Harley Davidson, right? The motorcycle company, right? The motorbike company. Their archetype is the outlaw, rebellious, means they don't follow the rules. Okay, so you see, we usually stereotype motorcycle with big burly man with a mustache, right? But not who say that, right? You can be a woman and still break the rules. You don't have to follow your assigned role in society, right? You can do makeup and ride a bike, right? So don't do this, do that, don't do blah blah blah, whatever lah. Just ride, right? So that is their archetype, right? Even cow kick the fence once in a while. Means to say cow is in a farm, right? Even a cow sometimes will kick the fence to break away, right? So they are selling you this idea of being rebellious, right? Being free, okay? And then you have UNICEF, right? The caregiver, right? The images they use, right? So the tone of voice that they write is not just that they write, it's in the color, right? A blue color is a very friendly, calming color, right? Professional color at the same time, right? And the images they use will give you a sense of compassion, loving, right? Caring. So there's the caregiver archetype, right? Here in the caregiver archetype. This one, act of service, right? It's always serve others to make life better for other people, right? UNICEF. Okay. And then this one is Deloitte. Deloitte is like an accounting firm or an auditing firm, right? So they are professional. The way they design the poster is very clear, right? Very serious, not like skittles or playful, right? It's very solid and very competent. Okay. So who you're designing for matters, and how you design for your client matters, because you guys are designers, right? You guys will have to be able to design, understand the archetype and design for the different brands, right? So for example, this one, Everyman, right? If you guys have seen Dove advertising, is always about everyone, everybody. They are not always celebrating models that are perfect. They will say all of us are beautiful, real woman, real beauty, right? Whether you're old, tall, dark, skinny, whatever, right? No matter your hair, whatever, we are all beautiful. So this one is Dove. The archetype is every man, means every person. They represent every person, all of us. Okay, so they are honest, they are relatable, they are real. Okay, compared to this one is luxury, lover, right? High end things. You feel classy. Okay, so all these affects home boss. I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, another case study. You guys know Jaguar, the car? Jaguar? You guys know what happened recently? Right? Okay, so Jaguar, this is the logo of Jaguar. Okay, up to 2024. This is the logo. Okay, it's a sports car brand from England. Okay, it has a lot of people from England who like very classic car, very nice car. You drive, you feel like very atas. Like you are British and you are very not glamour lah, but sophisticated is the word, right? So you see their design of the car, the interior of the car, all very classy and very sophisticated, right? And these are their ads, right? So their archetype is the ruler, right? The archetype is the ruler, and it's about you ruling the road, right? Your turn. It's your turn. You can control the car. It's your turn, right? It's good to be bad. Okay, so you have that actor. Who is that guy? Huh? Can't remember his name, right? Loki, if I remember. Okay, you have Loki with the ambassador, right? And he's British, right? So it's good to be bad, right?
Have you ever noticed how in Hollywood movies all the villains are played by Brits?
Maybe we just sound right.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mary.
We're more focused. More precise.
We're always one step ahead.
With a certain style, an eye for detail.
And we're obsessed by power. Stiff upper lip is key.
And we all drive Jaguars.
Oh, yes. It's good to be bad.
So this is their whole archetype, right? It's good to be bad. And then who is their main ambassador? Is white men. Well, white men, right? Bald men, right? So these white men, okay, is their main archetype, right? And they are often the bad guy, right? It's good to be bad. Now I'm going to show you another ad. Okay. So this happened last year, 2024. All right. So it came from this to this. There was a rebrand of the archetype, totally 180 degree. Okay. Jaguar was having financial difficulty. They are okay, until a point that they cannot tahan anymore. They feel that they need to do a total rebrand, and this is their rebrand. Okay, the images that you see just now, right? This is their new archetype. Okay, not ordinary, outlandish, vivid, right? Break molds, right? So if I were to show you this, they almost did a 180 degree change from the ruler, right? The ruler to maybe the outlaw, right? Is totally opposite. Okay. And obviously there was a lot of backlash. These are now their cars, by the way. Right. Totally different from this. Right. But because the old formula of Jaguar is not working anymore, they had to do a complete rebrand and sell prototype cars like this. Okay. Copy nothing and live with it. Okay. Unfortunately, this was not a very successful rebrand. Okay, because a lot of people who like Jaguar, appreciate Jaguar, feels totally betrayed. Because I used to have this brand that I really like. Just imagine your most favorite brand right now. Suddenly they rebrand into something that you totally don't relate with. It's 180 degree. Okay, so there were a lot of news to say that Jaguar rebrand is failed, right? So you can see how important is an archetype, because you use the archetype to connect to your audience, right? They are trying to do too much at one time, right? They are trying to turn 180 degree too fast. Okay, so many took it as a betrayal. Okay, so how do you define your tone of voice? You need to know your audience. Is your audience ready for a new archetype or not, or rebrand, right? Is your audience relate to what archetype that you want to use? How do they speak, right? What do they relate to, right? What is your brand personality, right? So if you are a caregiver, right, your tone need to be empathetic, need to be soft, right? If your brand is the ruler, then your brand can be arrogant a bit. Okay, if your brand is the jester, then your brand will be a bit more comedy, right? So this is like what we mentioned, right? What is your brand value, right, or core trait? You friendly, bold, witty, reassuring. It all controls your tone of voice, which is by the color, the images, and your words. Okay, so that is about brand archetype and tone of voice. Okay, any question? Any question? Okay, so think about your brand. Okay, think about your brand. What character is your brand most like? Right, what does your target audience would relate to the most out of this chart here, the brand archetype here? Okay, think about it, and then you can propose what is the tone of voice, right? Let's say if you're a ruler, then your brand will be very serious, professional, right? A bit arrogant. If you're a curator, then your brand tone of voice needs to be inspiring, need to be uplifting, right? If your brand is a caregiver, then it needs to be caring. It needs to be empathetic, compassionate. The way you write your design, do your design. Okay. Any question on this? So coming back to here, you have all the 5 elements you need for your proposal assignment 1. Okay, so this week, what I want to see is from your point 1 to point 4. Okay, continuation from last week, I want to see your point 1 to point 4. And then point 5, you can work on it at the same time today, if you have time. Okay, If not, then you can present to us next week after you have added this. But if you want to consult me on this as well, you can message me on Teams. Okay, or if you are fast enough, then today you can show me what are your thoughts for your brand archetype and tone of voice. Then we can work on it together. Okay, so a quick reminder. Okay, next week we have our proposal presentation for GD1 for the branding subject. Okay, each student to present to the class the assignment 1 for feedback and refinement before submission on the 1st of June. Okay, each student limited to 8 minutes. 5 to 8 minutes is good enough. Okay, and to answer again, the number of slides doesn't matter. Okay, the number of slides doesn't matter as long as you cover all the 5 points. You can use up to 10 slides, 15 slides, but keep it to 5 to 8 minutes presentation. Okay, I don't need to see 100 slides thing also lah. Okay, so keep it around a reasonable range of slides. Okay, any question for assignment 1? Okay, if no question, then we can start our tutorial. Okay, so you guys can take turns to come. Okay, I'll give my feedback on your work. You will fix those things based on my feedback, and then if it's all okay, then you can go. Okay, but I want to see your progress first for your assignment 1. Let me stop the recording.